All right, so in section 3, we're going to talk about trigonometry. So in trigonometry, we have these functions, these trigonometric ratios called sine, which is, you can just write sin, so that means sine. And then we have cosine, which is cos. And then we have tangent, which is tan. Okay, and so how you can remember this is sine of an angle, and it's always of an angle. So we're looking at a triangle, and we're always looking at sine, cosine, tangent of an angle. So we have an angle A, we have an angle B, and we have an angle C. So whenever we look at these trigonometric ratios, we're looking at them from the perspective of an angle. So this first one, sine of A, is looking at the relationship between the two sides of a triangle off the perspective of this angle A. So from this perspective of angle A, sine always looks at the opposite of that angle, the side opposite of it, so this side right here, compared to that of the hypotenuse, so the side of the triangle that is the hypotenuse. So sine is always opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of an angle, it's always off an angle, so we're still going to base this one off of angle A, is the adjacent side. So that's the side connected to the angle. So it's this side right here and the hypotenuse. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And then the last trig function is tangent. So tangent of an angle, it's always of an angle. So we'll look at this angle A right here. And that is looking at the two sides are the opposite. So the opposite across from that angle. So that'd be this side, BC. And the adjacent side. So it's comparing the opposite to the adjacent side. So that's what these trig ratios look at. It looks at the relationship of two sides of a triangle. So tangent is opposite over adjacent. And how you can remember this is SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA, or go suck on a toe. Or Helgerson also has something else that he says, but I say suck on a toe. So S-O-H, so C-A-H, and TOA, T-O-A. Now you can also write it like this, S equals O over H. So then you remember what goes on top, what goes on bottom of the fraction, the ratio. C is A over H, and T tangent is O over A. So you can remember it that way as well. But that's how you remember the three trig ratios. And remember, it's always of an angle. So one way is I could look at it from this angle, or I could look at it from this angle. You never look at it off of the right angle. You always look at it off of the other two other than the right triangle. Okay, so it's always looking off of an angle. So it's always sine of an angle, cosine of an angle, tangent of an angle, and that always equals the relationship of two sides. So that's our basic idea of sine, cosine, and tangent. So that's what we're going to look at in these next few problems. All right.